So, hello, everybody. Thank you again for joining me today. I appreciate your time and your consideration to be here. We're going to be talking about a really great idea creating strategy for your business and how you can use these tools to grow and elevate what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen in a minute. But before I do, why don't we give some general introductions? I know that I am meeting all of you for the first time. Some of you I've talked to on LinkedIn before, some of you I haven't. So why don't we just take 10 seconds and everybody just go, hey, here's my name, here's what I do, here's where I am. Start with Charlene.
Okay. My name is Charlene Lindsay. I live in the Houston area. Serial entrepreneur, but also looking for full-time employment. So I work in an oil and gas industry, and it's been quite the wild ride, and hopefully continue the wild ride.
Nice. Lori?
Hi, Lori Knutson. I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a reluctant entrepreneur. Worked in sales for 20 plus years. Not as great. I'm a career coach for students. I also work with some adults and do workshops, but the business end of it, I'm not as good about. Just because I don't enjoy it as much. So I acknowledge that, and that has, dragged out my growth, but I'm back on track and love what I do.
Nice.
Awesome.
And Heather, I've never met you before, so I'm excited to hear about you.
Well, I am Heather Coffin. I am 50% of Charlene, pretty much, duplicate serial entrepreneur. I usually work full-time as well, but currently not. I usually work in finance.
Okay.
I work in many industries, from constructions to mining, so I work in various industries. Aims of businesses are varying from clothing stores to logistics.
That's varied. Wow.
Yeah, I like to dabble.
Nice. So just a quick background on me. My name again is Chad Johnson. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I spent 35 years in corporate America, and last year, after having worked myself out of a job after 5 years, which was my goal, my endeavor was to make myself obsolete. I'm at that point in my career where I decided, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do when I grow up? And so sales is my thing, and I love salespeople, and I love helping salespeople be successful. So I started my own business doing that. So me in a nutshell. Very fortunate that I'm able to do that. I'm at that stage in my career where I can go, what do I want to do until I no longer want to do anything? And that's where I am. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. Let's dive in. I want to be respectful of y'all's time. I'm going to do my very best to land this thing by noon on the dot. If I go over by a minute or two, mea culpa in advance. I apologize. Let me see, get my screen share going. Let me know when you all can see my screen.
Yep.
Awesome. So I may have mentioned earlier, the exercise we're going through today is called purposeful creative thinking. And I like to call it the realm of limitless idea creation. Why purposeful creative thinking works is that subconsciously, our minds like to assign rules and guidelines and boundaries around everything that we think about. And whenever we have an idea that we need to create, all of our experiences and our jobs and our education and everything jump in the way in our mind and automatically start putting up barriers. Oh, you need to follow these rules, do these things. And these rules end up getting in the way of our idea creation. They actually limit us because they keep us focused on what we know, and they don't let us explore what we really can know and what we can learn. So purposeful creative thinking disrupts the mind's operating system in the rule generation. It kind of breaks the system just long enough for your mind to open up and go, okay, let's play with no rules for just a moment and see what happens. And that's the beauty of it. It's amazing how ideas are born from many different things or caused by many different things, whether they're intentional or unintentional. So I'm gonna share a story with you here, and you may have seen this because I know we all know Bob Sager, and so you may have seen this because I shared this with him a few weeks back, and I believe he posted something on LinkedIn or in other places online about it. But YouTube. Anybody not know what YouTube is? Just for kicks? No. Okay.
Ew.
So and I love my little picture down the corner. If you're not familiar with him, that's Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast is arguably the most successful YouTuber to date. It's estimated that he has earned over $250 million on YouTube. Not too shabby.
Wow.
Yeah, not too shabby. The interesting thing about YouTube is it was founded in 2005 as a video dating site. Go figure that.
Huh.
Oddly enough, it was a miserable failure. Imagine that, because video dating had already been around for about 20 years. You know, people doing VHS tapes, and then you could watch the VHS tapes and all that good stuff. And it really didn't do well in that model either. But they thought, let's try it on the internet. The three founders, there was three young gentlemen, young, fresh out of college, who actually started YouTube, got really desperate because it wasn't going anywhere, and they were going to start running out of funds. So they got so desperate that they offered people $20 to go ahead and upload a video of themselves, assuming that people would upload videos of themselves looking for dates. But what actually happened is people began just uploading whatever they wanted. And it had them in it, or people they knew, or interesting things, but it was whatever they wanted. It was just all sorts of random stuff, bloopers and funny things and everything that they didn't expect. So the funny thing is the dating site aspect of it failed, but they were smart enough and they realized, hey, we've got something here. People want to put up videos of whatever they want. And so let's make the site easy for people to use, and let them upload whatever they want, whatever type of content they want, as long as it's not really vulgar, offensive, pornographic. Let's let them load it up. And as a result, just 1 year later, in 2006, Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion. It's amazing how the initial idea of a video website was spot on. Just the way they were directing it, dating wasn't the way to go, but the video itself was the way to go. And as we all, I'm sure, are aware of, YouTube has grown into the largest video archive on the planet. I don't know what the current stats are, but I can tell you that as of May of 2019, users were uploading 500 hours worth of video every single minute. That's how prolific YouTube is. So, bad idea, video dating site. Great idea, video website, but allowing content to be user-driven and put up whatever they want. So it's amazing how just a small shift in your thought process can take your core ideology and turn it into something brilliant. It's just, what's that catalyst going to be? So what we're going to do is we're going to work on a thing called combinatory play first. Now, what combinatory play is it's a method for creating maybe new products or services or processes or enhancements to existing ones that you already have. What it does is it works with our minds in the sense that we don't think of words. We think in images. Like, for example, if I was to ask all of you, hey, who was that lady that starred with Richard Gere in Pretty Woman? What was her name? What would you say?
Julia Roberts.
Exactly, Julia Roberts. But did the name Julia Roberts, did the words flash in your mind, or did you picture Julia Roberts?
Picture.
Yeah, you pictured her. Yeah. So, another example is if I said, if I gave you the word car, an image of a car comes in your mind. Not the word car, an image. Might be a car you've always wanted, might be a car you think is really cool, whatever the case may be. For me, it's going to be a Ferrari Daytona Spider. but yours is going to be different. And similarly, if I told you to think of, if I gave you the word bathroom, picture of a bathroom is going to come in your mind. Now, what's really crazy about combinatory play is when you take things that are totally unrelated, like car and bathroom, and I give you both of those words and add them together, now totally different possibilities begin to form in your mind. It's like, how would car and bathroom, someone might picture a vehicle that you could drive and never have to stop at the restroom ever again. You don't have to stop for gas. You figure out how that works. I'm not trying to say anything. But, you start getting brand new images from things that your mind initially is going to go, that's ridiculous, a car and a bathroom. And that's where we have that breakdown in those rules. That's where the mind starts going, okay, there's something wrong here. These rules don't apply. So let's just be open. And that's the beauty of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of warm you up to this thought process and how it works. On the next slide that I put up, there's going to be 2 words, and they're unrelated, much like car and bathroom, but they're not car and bathroom. And what I'm going to do is when I put the words up, I'm going to give you 1 minute, and I want you to take those 2 words, and in 1 minute, and you'd be surprised what you can do in 1 minute. I know I was shocked going through this myself. In 1 minute, think of a product or a service that you could create using just these 2 words. Everybody ready? Here we go. Binder and road are your 2 words. And I'm going to give you 1 minute starting now. Got 30 seconds left. Fifteen seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. All right. Who wants to share first what they thought of? What sort of business did you come up with, or product or service did you come up with combining binder and road? Okay.
Oh, is Charlene
Lori,
go?
no, go ahead, Lori.
At first I drew a blank, and I've done this before with Bob,
Okay.
but then I was trying to think of like, okay, binder and road, and first I thought of 3-ring binder. But since like road maps and people use more GPS, I started thinking about an electronic binder app where you could create and save your Google routes or whatever might be. And it would store those for you rather than just having them all over the place or opened in a window. Maybe it would be like a road trip, maybe it's your restaurants or different things, but you could map them out and have that for your travel or traveling adventures.
Nice. I like that. Very nice. Charlene, what'd you come up with?
So when I associate binder, I associate it with book. So if the municipality, the city or the town would allow you, you'd actually paint like cartoon type stories on the actual road. So you can tell a story while it leads you to a particular store or venue.
Nice.
So if like a conference, like Vegas has a big conference, a lot of them, but hypothetically you can put down, I don't know if you'd use paint or something that can come off easily, but stay on there for the conference. But you're basically telling a story and it's only on the roads leading to the venue.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Heather, what did you come up with?
Come up with a few actually. Actually, I was on almost the same line of thinking as Lori, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
So first one was kind of like a digital road mapping. instead of you're selling a book, you're selling a digital download or an updated app service. The other one is like road. I'm thinking of, for me, visually, it's about a tire, like almost. So whether it was a tire maintenance checklist that you're creating for a download or a tire printed planner, somebody that's into the travel. Now, this is where it connects to Lori's thought. Like in such an app, a lot of people actually do a lot of their trips and pinpoint pins on Google and then save that picture. So along the lines, Lori is an app of saving those, pinning those trips on a map and then saving them. And then you can print them out, kind of like a memory book.
Nice.
That's cool.
Great ideas, y'all, man. Very creative. Holy cow. I love it. So this is the thing I love about it. I mean, it goes in directions I never would have thought of. It's great. I love it. So we're gonna expand on this a little bit, and we're gonna take it to the next level, because you all have a great understanding of where we're going with this. So we're gonna play a game, and we're gonna play this game in 2 rounds, but it's the same game twice over. The difference being is each one of you is going to play a different role during each game. So one of you will be an entrepreneur, one of you will be a competitor, and one of you will be our customer. And what the role is the competitor and the entrepreneur are both going to come up with ideas for products, services, much more in depth than we just did. And the customer at the end of the day or at the end of the time is going to listen to the presentations that each of the entrepreneur and the competitor give about their product or service that they thought of, and then going to decide which, as a consumer, which product you feel resonates more, that you would be more interested in purchasing. So the way the game is played is that you're going to, on the next slide, the competitor and the entrepreneur, who are going to be randomly assigned in just a moment, will each have a set of 10 words. The entrepreneur will be on the left side of the screen. The competitor will be on the right side of the screen, and you'll each have 10 words that you can choose from. You can only choose 2 of those words, just like we had binder and road. You can choose any 2 of those 10 words that resonate with you, and then create a product or service that goes with those 2 words in 3 minutes time. And I'll time it, and I'll give you markers along the way to let you know where we are. At the end of the 3 minutes, you're going to get 1 minute to pitch your product or service to the customer. And what you'll want to know is what they're going to most want to know, and what you're going to want to be able to tell is, what is your product? How does it work? And what are the benefits of it? So, everybody understand that? Okay.
Yep.
The randomization of how I picked the first one is exactly how y'all are showing up in video on my screen right now. So Charlene, you're going to be the entrepreneur this first round. Lori, you're going to be the competitor. And Heather, you get to be the customer. You get to ultimately decide whose product is the one that you would want to buy the most. All right. So here in just a second, I'm going to change screens. Remember, the entrepreneur is on the left side. So Charlene, that's going to be you. The competitor is on the right side. Lori, that's going to be you. Pick 2, any 2 of the 10 words that are there, and you'll have 3 minutes. I'm going to give you a quick second to look at the words, and then I'm going to start the clock on you. Here we go. And your 3 minutes starts now.
Let's hope.
Lori's
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. Ah.
And time. I use my cell phone as a timer so I can keep it honest. So how'd that feel before we get in the pitches? How'd that feel? Did you feel pressure? Did you feel exhilarated? Tell me kind of what your thoughts were, Charlene.
Pressure, immediately mind block. Yeah, the time thing was definitely pressure, and kind of initially got a block. I'm looking at all these words and how to associate them and come up with the ideas. Eventually did, but man, that was tight.
Yeah. Lori, how about you? Did you experience something similar or something different?
Similar. I mean, I came up with ideas, but I didn't initially come up with anything that was different or new. So that was my conundrum. So I came up with something. I don't know that it's kind of a real world issue that I have in my home. So I don't know that it's going to resonate, but we'll
Okay.
see.
I love Heather's cat going
Yeah.
back and forth there.
I have the cat
Um,
and dog in here, and their cat is a real happy dog. He loves playing with everything.
okay,
Cat
nice,
doesn't.
nice. So what the way this goes from here on is the rules of the game generally are is that the competitor presents first and then the entrepreneur second. At 1 minute, remember, tell us what it is, what it does, and what its benefits are. And so, and I'm not real hard fast on the minute, just kind of keep it as succinct and as brief as you can. And so, Lori, being the competitor, you get to go first to pitch your idea to Heather.
All right. I chose the words guitar plus shelf. And it is literally a guitar shelf, guitar storage. As I said, this is a real world problem I'm experiencing between my husband and my son. But this would be a vertical storage shelf. Like if you picture how sometimes bikes can be stored like in a garage and be stored along the wall. The idea is to safely and secure guitars, because obviously you don't want them falling off of the shelf, but and being able to store 4 to 5 guitars depending on the ceiling height. It would be adjustable or have tension. And then the main thing would be without taking up much space in the room. So the footprint would be small, ideally no more than like 6 to 8 inches, whatever, would be needed to just be able to, accommodate the guitars and the hardware that would be needed. I mean, obviously you could wall mount those, but sometimes people move things around, or if they're moving locations or renting or whatever the situation might be, just finding a place that, because the racks now are just kind of like it's a stand, so rather than having those all over the place, this would be something nice. That would get them out of be not all over.
Okay. Okay, great. Heather, did you get all that? Got all your notes on that? Okay. All right, Charlene, you're up. Pitch your product.
Okay, I chose the 2 words is soap and blade. So I related that to a kitchen knife and soap or fluid or cleaner of some sort. So the product is a knife that has a compartment on the grip part that could squirt some water or soap that is food safe, so that you can squirt while you're cutting. So it'll be molded right into the grip, so it's natural to your grip to press the button, so that you can clean your blade as you go, especially when you're chopping up vegetables and then go to fruit or meats to vegetables. You have a clean knife. It cleans the food while you're cutting, so it eliminates the germs and cross contamination. So you have the benefit that it's natural to the grip. It keeps the knife clean. It also benefits the food that you're chopping up, and you can use it to cut as you go. Easy one-step solution.
Nice, nice. Okay. So Heather, now you have the ominous pressure upon you of saying what product you think would be the most resonating with you, and tell us why you chose the winner.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep everybody in suspense, but I honestly say, okay, so Lori, I understand because I resonate with guitars and storage. So that product resonates in the need. With Charlene's product, it resonates in description. So when she said benefits, what it could benefit me, I can easily see what it would benefit me or not. it's a good question. It's a toss up on it. I gotta give it. It's kind of hard to decide, but I gotta go with Lori's product because it resonate with me wanting it. Not that Charlene's product wasn't presented well.
Did we all get?
Disconnected?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it just me?
No,
No, all of
went
us.
off.
No, it all ended. So I don't know if we
Wow.
exceeded the 45 or 40 minutes or.
I have no idea, but we're back and we're back. Let me get my screen sharing back on. And so I believe what I had heard, if I'm correct, is that that Lori was the winner on that one, Heather?
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. And I apologize for that break there. That's really weird. I haven't experienced that with Zoom before. Wow. Hopefully we won't do that again. Thank you for jumping right back in. So please do that if it happens again. Weirdly enough, please do that. That's awesome. You know, I really liked both ideas. I strangle a guitar somewhat fairly well, so I can totally see that, but I don't have a lot of them. But you know, the cutting as well. That's amazing. I never thought about that. Something that would clean and rinse and all that along the way. That would be really both of those things would be so useful.
Yeah.
I like
especially
the way,
like with the chicken, like poultry going from that.
Oh yeah, or pork. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but and it's also amazing because even though it may not be guitar, I could see so many other things, you know, creating like tension rods or brackets or something like that where I could place them anywhere, and not even just a guitar, but any small item or any item that I wanted to space save with and put into place. I can truly see that. So really great ideas, both of you. Majorly impressive. So we're going to play one more round. Same rules apply. And what we're going to do is we are going to switch up positions. And now, since I log back in, I've got different video situations. So it looks like it's going to be an all in the family matter. It looks like Heather, you're going to be the entrepreneur. Charlene, you're going to be the competitor. And Lori, you get to be the customer this time.
Okay.
I'm going to switch the screen. Entrepreneur, again, your 10 words will be on the left, and competitor, your 10 words will be on the right. So go ahead and look at your 10 words briefly, pick two, same rules. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. And your 3 minutes starts right now.
Email. No, actually, it was actually quite, I don't know, I found it a little bit easy, but then the first one, it kind of related to the first one that we did. So I'm like, okay, I'll pick another one. So I'm like,
Yep.
but on the same lines, I just picked a different industry.
It's amazing how the mind does that when you're given that chance, that jump start.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right. Okay. So the competitor gets to go first. So Charlene, you get a minute or so to pitch your product to Lori.
All right. I chose car and band, not as in band music, like a kind of like a string, but a belt, band belt. So my product is a bunch of bands that could be netted together or not, two separate products, but product lines, but belts and belt with netting that you can secure your shopping or items in the back seat of the car. So if you're Christmas shopping, you got a bunch of bags, boxes, or you go to Costco, go shopping, you have all these groceries stocked in the back, but you know how everything shifts as you're going down the road, especially if you got crappy roads in your area, is a way of securing that load. And you can utilize the connections as in clips on the end or clasp pins that can connect to the current belt system, current hooks that are in the back seat, usually hidden kind of tucked in the side. So the benefit is the fact that you can secure your load, it won't shift, so it won't impede your driving should something shift. So there's safety there of not distracting the driver. And if you get in an accident, it's all secured. It's not going to fly around and hurt you.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Lori, did you get all your notes on that?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Heather, your turn. Your minute starts, your approximate minute starts now.
Okay, so I'm going to present you the hospital app, library app. So your icons menus is going to consist of records, labs, and testing. Your next icon menu that you can click on is for appointments, parking, mapping, Google directions, and check-ins for hospitals. So in your menu of your records, labs, and testings, you can get your results delivered right to the app. You can check in what your results are, even before your doctor's appointments. And then your parking and mapping will be consisting of knowing where to park and also paying for your parking while you're at the hospitals, because each hospital has a different parking venue they may have to pay for, as well as check in and check out if you're doing a day surgery or appointment at the hospital. It'll be hands-free and COVID related, so we're protected for COVID future. And the app will be a free download with a adjustable fee on top of the parking or appointment services that were added.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, Lori, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Oh, don't make me choose.
Oh, you have to, I'm sorry.
Oh gosh, they're both good and they're completely different. So, I'm oh my goodness. I think from a feasibility and marketing that the car band may be better suited to go to market strategy, just because of like there are like some apps or different things that are connected with electronic medical records, but then again, getting the HIPAA compliance. I do like all of that. I think having something on the phone where people can check in and pay for parking and one-stop shopping, I think is really good. I think it's a great idea. I'm just trying to think about like which one would be easiest to go to market with. And that's why I picked the Charlene's car band, not necessarily. I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's just I also really liked Heather's.
Logistically would be harder, yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to think about it. I think that it's a great idea. I just don't, there would be a lot more involved. So I did it just solely, made my decision based on which one would be easier to bring to market.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you know, it's amazing. I mean, Charlene, I cannot tell you how many expletives still probably hang somewhere in the headliner of my vehicle over slamming on the brakes and things going flying into the dash or into the back of the seat behind me. Or so I can totally relate to that product. And you know what? I can also, Heather, I can totally relate to, you know, like when I take one of my children or my wife to, you know, the medical center for a minor procedure. Like, you never know where the hell you have to park, you know, how far away it is, you don't know what they tell you. Oh, just go to registration, which is 7 miles from where you need to be. So having all that information and being able to pay for parking, getting all that out of the way would be amazing too. So great ideas, both of y'all. Congratulations. I wouldn't have taken those quite that way. That's amazing. And I know probably at this point in time, after doing these two exercises, you're going, okay, this is great. So we can take a couple of words, we can come up with things, but how does that help me? How does it help my business? Because that's what you talked about originally. There's another method that's used in taking a strategy like combinatory play and applying it to your business. And it's called anchor terming, using an anchor term. And I'm going to go through this with you real quick. So what an anchor term does is it helps you decide based on what area of your business you want to improve. It could be a product, it could be a process or service, it could be a new solution. And this could be related to many different topics. It could be about sales, employee retention, customer service, whatever area you really want to improve. And similarly to what we just did with combinatory play, what you do is you take the combination of words and you focus them on that one specific topic, whether it's sales, employer, whatever the case may be. You focus those words on how can I use those to help this particular situation in my business. Now, some of these words you're like, yeah, but I would never worry about hospital in my business. The point isn't about the word. The point is about freeing your mind and breaking those rules. You're going to come up with very different ideas from maybe what you would think of for your business. But the best part about it is there's no such thing as a bad idea. And every idea, no matter how crazy, has a core in it that relates to your business. Perfect example, go back to what we talked about with YouTube earlier. Video website was perfect. Video dating website sucked. But by allowing users to go free content, whatever they wanted, all of a sudden the miracle was there. So what you'll find when you use an anchor term for your business, but still use unrelated words to help start spurring those ideas and breaking those rules in your mind, you'll start going, wow, okay, obviously I couldn't put a hospital in my business, but these other ideas that I came up with, I could incorporate, and how could I twist and change them? And that's where the magic happens. And that's what this is all about. So what I need for two of you to do, we're going to do the exact same thing. Actually, I'm going to do a warm-up with you all again. First of all, Lori, what would be something in your business that you would actually like to improve upon, or that you would like to have better?
Sales.
Sales. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Heather.
You're on mute, Heather.
Okay, come back to me. I got to think for a sec.
Okay. All right. All right. Charlene, what about you?
I think for me and Heather's, the venture that we're struggling on is, yeah, it's somewhat sales, but it's basically presenting the information, or attracting people to the information because it's a taboo subject.
Leads. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So-
that's a good point, because even for mine, it's something that people don't necessarily think about first.
Okay.
Yeah, because ours is more of a serious subject, and I approach it as witty, like a witty content, because people think happy with wit and humor, but at the same time touching on a serious subject. But you never know how people approach receiving that.
Yeah. Intention versus impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of a sales / lead generation, kind of
Yeah.
one and the same. All right. And since it's a common thread, that's actually going to make it really easy. We won't be coming up with things that are uniquely different from each other. And so that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Normally what I would do, and you guys are tremendous, so I mean, if you would like to do it, we can. Normally what I would do is I'd warm you back into the subject and give you a couple of generic words again, and give you a minute. But I think, if you're comfortable with it and feel like you've got the concept, in order to save some time, because we're getting closer to the end of that time spectrum that you guys were kind enough to give me today, we can go ahead. I had organization and summer picked out, but we can go ahead and we can move forward right into the game if you would like. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to be respectful of y'all's time, which is why I'm saying that. And by the way, just in case, and Lori, I'm sure you know this, but these words I don't just randomly yank out of my brain. Bob actually had developed a game called What's the Big Idea? And I don't know if y'all can see me on your screen right now. Let's see if I can get it focused.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And so What's the Big Idea is he actually had provided hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of words. And literally, I reach my hand into the bag, shuffle it around, and I pull out a word. And I build your lists, and I build these things from this, because it is at random. Remember, you're not trying to give your mind any preconceived notion. Now, you don't have to use Bob's game. It is for sale. It's something you can buy, but you don't have to use Bob's game. It could be 10 things that you see in your office: pencil, noteboard, whatever the case may be. Find 10 random things, choose two and go from there. That's really the whole process of it, is to just get your mind thinking outside of the confinements that it normally puts in place. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change up. This time, Lori, you're going to be the entrepreneur. Heather, you're going to be the competitor. Charlene's going to be the customer, and she's going to determine a winner this time. And I'm going to put up again, entrepreneur on the left, competitor on the right, 10 separate words. Choose any two, but focus those two words on sales, lead generation.
Okay.
That's your anchor. So this time we're not going random. We're not looking for something new or wild or bizarre. How could I take those two words and how could I use that to increase my sales or my lead generation? And here we go. Quick look at your words, and your 3 minutes start right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. Okay. I believe that Lori, you were the competitor.
Oh,
No, I am.
I thought I was the entrepreneur, so I'm
Okay.
like, oh boy.
No, you were. My bad. My
I'm the competitor, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Heather, then you are up first to pitch to Charlene your idea.
Okay, well, driving this to solving the problem of sales and leads, the words value page came to my mind thinking about flyers. We look at flyers, we look at discounts, we look at sales. I'm just thinking of having a product that would be a preset value page for a website, or it can be used as a flyer with preset templates with keywords designated to that industry, whether it's CEO words, keywords, template that's set up in a format, to have it preset for their website, and also offer value to the customer. So the value could be either a discount on a product or additional added service for free. Similar to like those that are selling master classes, etc. You got additional bonuses that are added to it. With the products, it would just be additional free product if they combine it, or additional discount. The page is set up in a template, so you could just plug and play.
Nice. All right. Charlene, you got your notes on that?
Yep.
All right. Lori, you're up.
Okay, so I completely blanked because I was like thinking about my business and things that I wanted to do. So I don't think that this is necessarily the best option. I was kind of along the lines of Heather, but I did education plus partner.
Okay.
And I was thinking about, with my business in mind, or even other industries that target education, that I would create decks for counselors or teachers, depending on the size of the school system, and for them to market their services. But most like schools, high schools, are very cautious about recommending services from outside vendors or anything like that. They don't want to be shown as, giving partiality or anything. So then rather than paying them a fee for doing this, I would create it would be a percentage that would go back to the school to help the underserved students of that school, because realizing that some of these opportunities or offers would not be available for those students, so that they would, have accessibility for everyone, but it was still completely optional for those that could afford those products and services.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
What do you think of those ideas, Charlene?
Yeah, wow. Completely different. I think with Heather's, she was leading to more of template landing pages that are pre-built, which technically, I think there is quite a bit out there, but something that is more critiqued, I guess. With Lori's, it's third party education partnered with the education system. For me, it would be very hard to do, but I like Lori's idea because it benefits both company and the students. So I think the benefit, I'd choose Lori's based on benefit.
Okay. And you know, the great part about this is I like both ideas as well. I mean, and coming from different scopes. I mean, having the templates and having the value right there, I mean, that's pretty awesome. But being able to incorporate that external, that third party education into the education system, that's amazing as well. And I think you're both really onto something that you can work with there. It's one of those things where now you're going to think about it. Your mind is going to force you to think about this again and again and again. And you're going to find that nugget. You're going to find the YouTube example video website in your idea. And you're going to go, wow, okay, it's going to click. If you allow your mind to continue to work on it, it's going to resonate with you. And that's the whole real crux and scope of what purposeful creative thinking does, is because once you break those rules and once you start establishing that ability to allow your mind to go, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've experienced this. I would be willing to guess that you all have, just like I do. You wake up in the middle of the night with that epiphany. Holy crap, your mind was working on something you didn't know it, and you woke up and you've got a great idea. And if you're like me, you keep a pad or a little voice recorder or something next to the bed so you can quickly put it down so when you go back to sleep, you don't lose it. And it's going to be something like that. If you allow this to kind of ruminate in your mind over the next couple of days, you're going to find that you're going to have enormous epiphanies that are going to come from these things. And that's why I love purposeful creative thinking. And I think it's a great tool for coming up with amazing ideas. You know, we are right at time, and I do want to be respectful of y'all's day because I really, truly do appreciate you spending time with me. Are there any questions or any thoughts? I generally would have one more round that is exactly the same thing that we have just done from this round right now. But since everybody's had a chance to be the customer, the competitor, and the entrepreneur at this point in time, and please tell me otherwise, I'll be more than happy to run a second round for y'all if you have the time and want to do that. I've got it prepared, obviously, in my presentation to do. But where are y'all? How are y'all feeling about this? What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways? And just jump in.
I think my takeaway is, like Shalene said, at the very beginning, you're stressed, you're thinking, you're tunnel visioning, your brain sets into a tunnel vision when you get stressed, pressured, etc. When you do more of a relaxed brainstorming, and actually sit in each spot. All of us took a spot of being on the hot seat to choose and the hot seat to create. I think that gave a lot of perspective of how we should be going about creating for the business itself.
Yeah, I agree. Lori, Charlene, what are y'all's thoughts?
I, to second what Heather was saying, I mean, I tend to process out loud. So when sometimes I can just draw a complete blank, but then I hear someone else, or, like I have an idea, but it's not fully fleshed out. And then when other people are talking about something, all of a sudden it's like, okay, you can kind of connect the dots. And I think that that's has been helpful for me to kind of see the differences in what we came up with, but also some similarities in how to kind of apply that, going forward. And, it's always good on a Monday to have some ideas when we're kind of feeling like, starting the week off and where do we go?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. The one thing I liked about this is, even though my sister's on here, having Lori and yourself, is if you can do this with a small bunch of people, if you're stuck on being creative, is you can get a small people, do this as a game. So it gets the creative flow juices, and you're actually collaborating and bouncing ideas. Like even this last round, I was like, oh man, I got a couple ideas for our business just from those words, this game. And I was like, okay, well, maybe
Yeah.
it's just that, just taking the time to play it as a game, even whether it is purposeful or not. You collaborate and you get more ideas and get the juices flowing. So I like that.
Exactly. And that you bring up the greatest point of all. We're all fairly, I mean, you and your sister aside, we're fairly unrelated in what we do in a lot of respects. But when you work with people that are like-minded, like gold, have the same objectives, same organization, and you use this game now, like you said, all those ideas come together from so many different viewpoints, but on the same subject matter, and it's extremely powerful. It also reminds me of something that just a kind of a parting thought that I'd like to leave you with is that, you know, a mentor of mine told me many years ago, said, you don't have a problem, you lack a strategy. The problem isn't what you think it is. It's not that you're not getting sales, you're not generating leads, that's not the problem. The problem is you don't have a strategy for how you will generate sales and get leads and those things. And it's this purposeful creative thinking not only helps you see the end, but it helps you build the chain of events that are going to get you there. Because you get to reverse engineer it. You get this epiphany, and it's like, oh my gosh, all I have to do is this and this and this and this, and it becomes simpler. It all of a sudden falls into place. And I realized this the first time I did it with Bob. I immediately saw it for my business. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been missing. And because I knew it the minute I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, all these guardrails my brain puts up. Now I don't have to worry about it. I've got this pattern interrupt to get rid of that. So, hey, I so much appreciate all y'all's time. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm not sure, but I'm willing to bet that Bob will reach out and see what you thought of it and get any feedback from you as well. So, you know, anything you have to say, be honest. If I was great, great. If I wasn't, be honest. You're only going to help me be better. It's not going to, you know, that's what it's all about. But other than that, thank you all so much for your time. Keep my contact information. If we are not connected, I know Charlene, you and I are. I don't believe you and I are, Heather, and I'm not 100% positive if you and I are, Lori. Let's all connect on LinkedIn and keep in touch.
Yeah.
Sounds
I was
good.
gonna-
Thank you, everybody.
do
You have
that.
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.